we stand. One nation strong, one guiding hand. Truth that rings in everything we do. Red, right and true. Stars and stripes, forever fly. Freedom's voice will never die. Say it proud, say it true. Welcome to Red, Right, and True. Hey!
And welcome to Red, Right, and True, where we tell you all the true stuff, all the time, every week, right here at the America First Warehouse. And we have an amazing guest today. We're going to get to him in a minute, but first, we're going to start with our co-host, Joe Curry,
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Patriot Box, of course,
Hello?
Well, Shy Box.
Mark White,
Good evening, everybody.
and our special guest today is very well known as Midnight.
Thank you so much for having me here.
And Midnight has his own podcast right after hours, right here at the America First Warehouse. So catch him every week at 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock,
8
right
o'clock.
here, right here. So we want to get Asset One up because Asset One has to do with our guest. Oh, we don't have it ready right now. Okay, well, we'll just talk about what you do. I talk about our guest that he's like New York City's Nick Shirley. That's how I see you. You have a huge following. You go into the middle of protests, and you are in danger, and you show everybody what's going on. And, you know, the media doesn't show what's really happening. You do. So how did you start covering events like that?
I didn't, it's wild because, I've never been political. I fell into this political arena because when you jump on social media, it's just like no matter what you're doing right now, it seems every angle that's being thrown at you is about politics. So I wasn't a Democrat, I wasn't a liberal, I wasn't an independent, I wasn't a Republican. But I just kept paying attention to both sides and saying, well, I'm actually in the middle, so let me see what the Democrats are doing, and let me see what the Republicans are doing, and let me see, kind of feel where I fit in this whole mix. And it was clear to me that one side has the best interest of the United States of America, and the other side has the best interest of whatever they're doing at the moment, at the time, however they feel right. And all of a sudden, one day, I just blurted out, "That's it. Donald Trump is my president. I love him." And all of a sudden, I got so much hate from one side, and the other one side was cheering, "Let's go, Midnight! Oh my God, we're so happy to have you on our side." And all of a sudden, I just realized that the country's hurting, the country's sick, and somebody's got to step up to do whatever we can. Like you guys are patriots here on your show here. Some people do it with their voice. Some people do it with their keyboard. Some people do it writing. I do it with I come in, I break down walls, almost like the Hulk. I smash and let everybody clean up afterwards. I don't really have a,
But it's also interesting because I'm noticing more and more. So maybe since I've been doing the show, whatever, that there's some comics that don't like me because of what I've said. I met a comic that is a friend of mine. Saw him on last week, and I said, "Hey, how's it going?" And I was talking to a friend. I go, "What's his problem?" He goes, "He doesn't like the things you say about immigration." I go, "He's a conservative Republican. He's also Hispanic, but still, I wanted to ask him. I don't know if I am, but if you came here legally, why do you feel that other people get a pass that they don't come here legally? Everybody, all our ancestors did it the legal way." And for a lot of people that have done it the legal way, there has to be some animosity to the people that come here and feel that they get a pass.
Yeah, the sad thing is that there are a ton of good people that have come into this country, whether they've came here legally or illegally. And because of the failure of the Joe Biden and the Kamala Harris administration, that no proper documenting, no proper vetting, and we all know that these very, very bad these very bad agitators, very bad actors, have let in some very, very bad people in here, which is ruining it for everybody else.
Yeah.
So at this point, we don't have a crystal ball. If I could tell you who's the good and who's the bad, I'd say, okay, let the good stay in, let the bad get out of here. But we don't know who's good, who's bad. Everybody at this point has got to go. We didn't make the rules here. We all voted somewhere along the way. We voted for it, and at the end of the day, these people, by definition, if you come here illegally, in the definition of the United States, that you are a criminal and you have to go, and that's just where we're at right now.
Yeah.
Well, we happen to have a clip of you in action, Asset One, so we're going to ask you to play that clip right now, and we get to see you in action.
But it's now flowing into other communities. Not just agitators, Antifa, or whatever you want to call it. Other people are getting involved now with this whole thing, right? And then you see all this. Now it's going to get, and at the end of the day, if that guy actually knew that they didn't care about his community, he would be standing on that side.
So you know what, to that point, let me tell you something that's happened to me at least a half a dozen times in Manhattan. Every time after like a program where I carry my big flag.
Well, actually, that wasn't what I wanted to see, but that's his podcast that he has on After Us. But what he does is he goes into the lion's den, and he is just like Nick Shirley. He's talking, and people are screaming either positive or negative at him, and he's documenting everything. And follow him on Instagram because you'll see for yourself what he does. But as far as people following you, I know Nick Shirley is getting death threats for what he does, and all he's doing is exposing fraud. And I don't know if you noticed it, but the three of us have our special shirts on tonight.
I love it.
Which is the Quality Leering Center. We crossed out the N because there is no learning going on at the Quality Leering Center, which is exposing fraud. And who wouldn't be against exposing fraud? Nick Shirley never really is political, so how could somebody have a problem with that?
Yes, you are correct. You cannot.
Because they react to
Mark White, could you tell us what your thoughts are
About whom? Nick Shirley?
about why would they want to why are they sending him death threats for exposing fraud? Wouldn't both parties be okay with exposing fraud because that's all of our tax dollars?
Well, Bonnie, it's because they're the ones doing all the fraud.
Exactly.
It's simple.
Well said.
The people on the left, are evil, Bonnie.
Yes.
They can't be stupid. I mean, I've been looking into this. They're not stupid. They're just dishonest and evil.
Yeah. Don't hold back, Mark.
But it's
I'm never going to hold back.
If you think about
I'm
it,
joking.
Who is against voter ID? All right, everyone has ID, and the only people who are opposed to voter ID and want to manipulate the way ballots are done. In fact, we could talk about that. Which went on the joke that went on in California is the people who are cheating. Those are the people who don't want it, and. As you know, well, I'll let you guys cover it as far as the most recent election, the primary, where we had a front runner, and then they said, well, we need more time to count votes, and they just kept on bringing in votes of the opponent until the person who was in last place is now in first place. There's nothing wrong with that, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
and also with the SAVE Act, it didn't pass. Some Republicans were against it. Tom Tillis, Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, Mitch McConnell were voting against the SAVE Act. It is beyond me where you need ID to do just about everything. And for something as important to vote, they don't want that. And also, what the Democrats will do, well, these people can't afford to go get ID. And listen, you're an adult. You can get an ID. An ID, the worst case scenario in a state is $30. If you want to be a responsible adult, you need to save up that $30 and you need to get it. Why? Because you're an adult. You want to be responsible. You want to be a citizen, and it's not a tough thing to ask for.
Well, absolutely, and it's also like they're saying that these people are too stupid to get an ID. I think that's racist. Why are you saying that this particular group of people cannot do what all Americans do and get an ID to vote.
Yeah, and I was at the doctor last week, and I had to hand over my health insurance card. I had to hand over my ID. I didn't want to make a scene because I don't know where they would have thought I was coming from. They probably might have thought I was combative. But I did want to ask the question, what if I didn't have ID with me? What would happen? Would you treat me or wouldn't you? The fact of the matter is that you're being asked for ID. It's part of being an adult. It's part of being a responsible citizen. And for the simple fact that the Democratic Party wants to cheat and fix everything, they figure we can't have this because anybody could come in and anybody can vote. It's so obvious. It's amazing how obvious it is, and you still have to argue with the far left about it.
You know, back when I was still in high school,
You were a small little crate back then?
I was a
He was a
smaller
small
box
box.
then. But, you know, even back then, I had ID so we could buy beer. And, you know, I made it a point to have ID, whether it was mine or someone who looked like me.
Yeah.
That was another story. But the point is, it's a joke to not have ID, to make that, to just, it's a gateway to just allow them to cheat blatantly like they did in the past and like they're doing right now.
And another thing you need ID for, and not all the time, but a lot of times, is when you want to watch porn. They ask to see your ID because you have to be over 18.
Yeah,
so
I
I'm
use
sure
Bonnie-
they'd come up with that ID for that, so they can get up with the ID to vote.
Well, I never watched porn, so I never had that
Well,
problem.
I've been using
Yeah, you don't use
I've
porn.
been using Bonnie's ID when we watch porn. So, but even in Pennsylvania, regardless of your age, I went to buy beer, and that's sort of a running theme now. I went to buy beer, and I'm retired, and they asked me for ID. I thought, wow, do I look that young? It's like, no, it's the law. If you want beer, you have to show ID.
Right,
Simple.
so if you want to watch porn, you want to have a beer, you have to have an ID. So what's so far-fetched to ask for
That's
an
right.
ID
Beer,
to
or
vote?
if you want to watch Teach Me, Mister, you need to have identification.
Absolutely.
But you can't watch porn and drink
And don't-
beer and vote at the same time.
Right. You can try. And don't go away. We'll be back in 3 minutes with Red, Right, and True with Midnight.
Most people think they have options when searching for the best deals when they travel. But here's the shocking truth. 100% of the major travel agencies are owned by just two entities, Expedia and Booking Holdings. They claim to offer the lowest rates, but due to the hotel rate parity agreement, they all have the same pricing, limiting genuine competition. When you book through these sites, you act as your own travel agent, but the profits are going to organizations that don't support our patriot values. We cannot allow that to continue. So, we decided to make travel great again by starting a US-based travel membership platform, mypatriottravel.com. We are patriots helping patriots. Together, we can disrupt the travel industry by not spending our hard-earned dollars supporting the radical left. For just $29.99 per month, you gain access to true wholesale rates on travel, saving you on average 35% and up to 65%. Book as often as you like, with no limits. Keep your hard-earned dollars in your pocket and spend them on things you need and want to support. Go to mypatriottravel.com/TAFW and grab your membership today. mypatriottravel.com/TAFW. Making travel great again.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
I'm sure you guys remember the platinum single Justice for All with Donald Trump and the J6 Prison Choir. Well, get ready for round two. We're coming out with Anthem of the Free with High Res and the J6 Prison Choir. It's coming out now. It's pre-sale until December 19th when it drops. Get yours on all platforms, Google Play, Apple iTunes. Get it. It's going to be hot.
Justice for all, our voices ring. The anthem of the free.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for the sea.
Good evening and welcome back to Red, Right, and True. I'm here with Midnight, the Patriot Box. We have Bonnie and we have Mark White on zooming in with us. And what we like to do is we like to talk about how crazy the liberals are. In Asset 2, which will be coming up, a Charlie Kirk protester should know who he is. Let's go to Asset 2.
I think Charlie Kirk is a white supremacist. I don't know who that is. It's who you're protesting. Charlie who? Charlie Kirk. I don't know who Charlie Kirk is. He's the CEO of Turning Point USA. It's the whole reason.
Well, it's okay. It basically proves the point that these people go to the protests, they hold signs, and they have absolutely no idea what they're protesting about. And since Midnight, since you actually go there, do you notice that a lot of the signs when it's against the Trump people or whatever, they're all like the same sign?
Oh yeah, 100%. And you can see if you get there early enough, vans, cars pull up. They are distributing the signs to everybody, distributing whistles. I've seen face masks. I mean, someone's funding this in a major way, because some of these things that they're handing out are in the hundreds of dollars. So you know, being on the conservative side and being a Republican and a patriot fighting for this country, we're doing it because our heart bleeds red, white, or blue.
Yeah.
These guys are doing it for a paycheck at the end of the day, and whether it's being funded by Soros or somebody in China or whoever's, you know, if you follow the money, you know, and you follow the lead and just start making indictments, start making arrests as treasonous traitors to this country or inciting violence, this can all be put to an end immediately. But they don't, because this is the America that they want to push this agenda. They want to keep us divided. As long as they keep us divided, they can keep control of the power.
Yeah, exactly. And they keep the control. And with people that go and then do get this money and go out, they're there for a paycheck. They're there for a buck. And one of the clips that we'll see, there was one guy that admitted to, I think it's in the third segment, and it's interesting they do this, where we do this for the love. I mean, I do this. I'm very outspoken in my views. It's costing me work. And when we had Joe Cumia on, who is a patriot, it was costing him work. You know, as entertainers, you know, we walk a fine line, but it gets to a point where we need to speak our mind. We need to save this country. We need to see where it's going. We need to stop it. And people have told me, you know, you got to watch what you say because I wear it like a badge of honor every time I say it.
Well, absolutely, Joe. And I always felt like I'm going to speak the truth, and if people don't like it, they don't have to be friends with me. They don't have to hang out with me. If people don't want to put me on a show because of what I post on Facebook, because my comedy act has really no politics in it at all. It's completely neutral. But they look at my page and they don't want me anywhere near them, and I'm fine with that. I have no problem with that. I'd rather have my integrity than have a spot on a stage for a couple of minutes.
And I approached it from a completely different way. I put a box on my head. I say whatever the fuck I want, and then I could pretend to be a liberal with the other tards that are out there, and no one knows.
And the funny thing is, so the ignorance of that, and it's happened. I've lost a gig. And one gig that I lost was from an agent of a bigger comic I was opening for, and he said, "Well, Joe is too political." Now, my act, I talk about politics less than 3 minutes in my act. You think these people think that I come out, it looks like the beginning of Patton. You know, I don't. But they're being bigoted. That they make the assumption, because of my view, that I am this horrible person.
Well, getting back to the clip that Mark White selected for us, what upset me about that clip is who would take a paycheck that is really, in essence, what you're doing is you are
committing treason against this country.
Yeah, you're for a paycheck, you're lending your voice to the demise of our country. And how much money is that worth to somebody?
Well,
are these people what kind of people are these?
If you notice, a lot of them are older or people in their 70s.
Yes.
Maybe
they
the
have
hippies.
Alzheimer's.
It's the old counterculture. where they go, the man, we're against the man, even though my hip is thrown out, I'm going to wear, the man. And basically, the Democrats know that and go, why don't we're going to protest against the man. We're going to give you a sign. We'll give you $20. We're going to meet here. And they feel like back in the late 60s and 70s again. They're protesting something.
it's
they're
kind of
fighting
like
the establishment. They don't even know what they're doing there.
It's kind of like sick and sad, but it's a social event for them.
They're getting them out of the
And
house.
they get some money.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't fathom it. I just don't understand it at all. But getting back to what we were talking about, election fraud and the voter ID, let's talk about Spencer Pratt and what happened with him. I mean, I really thought he was going to make it.
Well, he did. He did.
Yeah, it's basically 2020 all over again.
And by the way, do you know, I called that out on my social media platform, and they violated it immediately. So you can't even speak that you believe or you think that this election has been stolen again out of California through social media, because for most all of these social media platforms, they are very liberal, they are very democratic. And my original platforms on TikTok were massing about 1.4 million followers, and they suspended all my platforms on TikTok. They just shut down all the conservative creators. So with the whole Spencer Pratt thing, we mentioned it, and we got violated immediately, and the videos got taken down. So they don't even want anybody talking about this.
Well, that gets back to COVID. Remember COVID and how anybody that talked about it, their social media was basically removed. So if you tried to give an opinion on it, you were censored. So I think that's crazy. And shows like this, they put them down in the algorithms, and it's very hard to share them. I try to share them in Trump groups because they allow that there.
Yeah.
Because
All
they
right,
figure-
I'm going to jump in here.
Yes.
As they say at the crap table, new shooter, new direction. Mark, I don't know if you are aware of this because you're in Texas, but here in New York, there's a law. It just needs to be signed off by Bugs Hochul, Bucktooth Hochul, and basically they want to change. This is going to be the law. I don't know if you heard about this. They're going to change mother and father. Legally, the term will now be gestating parent. That would be the mom. And the non-gestating parent. Mark, have you heard about that? And I know you've got to weigh in on that. You have to have some type of opinion, even if this is the first time you heard it.
It's the first time. This is the first time I'm hearing it.
Yes.
So it's no different than calling abortion murder. I mean, this is what the liberals do. They just change the word. So as time goes on, they water down the exact meaning of what it is, and then people don't even view it as it used to be. So now you're just what are you? You're just a
gestational parent.
Yes.
Right.
That would be the mother.
Well, it would be like in Logan's Run, where you show up and your baby's inside the thing, and you had nothing to do with it, and the state is raising it now.
Oh wow, that's a great analogy. I love that.
Yeah, and they have one with mothers that have a sour stomach. It's indigesting. But also another race, Graham Plattner up in Maine won, and is going to be going against the Republican candidate. Somebody that has had a history of a womanizer, an abuser, has a Nazi tattoo on him, and the Democrats up there voted for him. My hope is that there's more of a Republican contingent up there. I was a lumberjack up there years ago, and I know that it's very right-wing views up there, and I hope that the Republican candidate fares a lot better than Graham Plattner does, because he is a problem. And the Democrats are fawning against him. You have...
the Democratic Party is the party of everything that is anti-American at this point. They don't care. Go ahead, Mark.
But the Republican Party is the party that does nothing. This shouldn't even be a problem out in California. Somebody should be fighting this. Absolute fraud. You can see they're cheating. Is anybody doing anything? I don't think so. But again, you shouldn't even let them do anything. You should let California and New York and all these cities get what they vote for. Just let them suffer the consequences, and they are suffering the consequences, even though they're trying to hide it.
That's the greatest statement of what everything that we're talking about and everything we're going through is. What does this country need to go through to wake up this giant? It's not. We're not shocked that someone's cheating. We're not going crazy when we're cheating over there in California. We're not shocked that there's a Nazi sympathizer that's up in Maine. We're not shocked that all of these things are going on and nobody's doing anything. But the New York Knicks are in the playoffs and the whole city is absolutely electrified. And they show up for a basketball team, which at the end of the day, none of these supporters are going to receive anything. And if they would show up with even 10% of the energy to save their own city, New York would be getting rid of Zohran Mamdani tomorrow.
But the thing with the Knicks is you could use the gauge on that. When Trump was there and they were doing the play, they all booed him. Pretty much boo. I mean, Trump, said, "Well, it was in cheers," but we did hear it. They booed him. It's a blue city that's not going to change. They don't.
Hey, they were fighting at the watch parties. They were fighting each other in the streets.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you something. Just so you, I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I drive in the motorcades when Donald Trump comes to the Northeast, and we drove him to the Garden that night. And
That's
it was,
great.
I have to tell you, the drive from the helipad to the Garden, I think it was coming, we went down 7th Avenue, whatever it was, we came up. It was like bringing a king or an emperor to his thing. Everybody was mostly cheering all down the streets. And I thought I was going through a Thanksgiving Day parade. There was one section where they were all yelling, F Trump, F Trump, F Trump. But mostly, I was so pleasantly surprised and pleased. But what I saw, when I tell you, with the booing that you saw at the Garden, it's the same thing as the mob mentality. Everybody just joins in because they know they're all being watched, and they don't want to be the guy going thumbs up to Donald Trump or screaming Donald Trump because they're going to get bashed by their own people.
Yeah, and they will. They're horrible with each other. That just shows you their mentality and shows you their, how they are to their fellow man.
Yeah, but there are so many. The point is, there's so many closet Donald Trump fans that can't come out, because they're afraid of getting bashed or banned from their own families.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. And please stay tuned. We'll be back with more in 3 minutes with Red, Right, and True. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
250 years ago, a nation was born, built on courage, driven by freedom, defined by patriots who stood their ground. Today, we don't just remember that legacy, we wear it. This is more than a shirt. It's a symbol of strength, freedom, and pride. I'm Steve Stern, COO of theflagshirt.com, and I invite you to celebrate 250 years of the United States with us. Wear your pride, stand for something, get your shirts today.
Politics feeling broken? What if you could match with politicians the way you match on a dating app, but based on real values? Meet OpScore from GoUSA, the first ever values-based political matchmaker. Think Match.com for elections that aligns voters with politicians. We score politicians on a nonpartisan scale based on your priorities. Track your politician scores and take our OpScore Challenge survey to match with leaders who align with you at opscore.org. Stop voting blind. Start matching smart. Politicians work for you.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
Corporate transfer. Fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
If the vote count is accurate, then how come the number of voters is different? And if it's not accurate, then why was it certified? We are suing Letitia James and the New York State Board of Elections for a conspiracy against fundamental rights. This is not about who won. It's not about what party. It's about the fact that they don't care about your rights.
It's me, Joe the Box. And I'm John the Blanket with the America First Podcast.
That's what I'm talking about. The Fred Rubino Podcast coming to you from the America First Warehouse.
Welcome, everybody, to the James Justice Show, tearing these airwaves apart with all the craziness that goes on in the world.
Welcome to the Patriots Podcast. Good evening, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the On the Right Side podcast here at the America First Warehouse in Long Island, New York.
Shane Jenkins here with another episode of Liberty's Cage.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Red, Right, and True.
We are streaming live on America First Media and Television app.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Downey Jr. podcast. Be free, stay free.
Welcome back to Red, Right, and True. We're going to start this segment. I'm going to combine, our regular listeners know that I do out-of-the-box thinking with the Patriot Box and the Constitutional Minute with the Patriot Box. I'm going to combine them into one combined segment here. I want to go on record and say that the Bill of Rights, the beginning of our Constitution, was probably the best, was by far, is the greatest document ever written. Our forefathers were genius in the way they created it. They allowed that it can be changed as necessary. And the beginning of it is, I'm going to say, is perfect. Now, the interesting thing is, and I support our Constitution, period. But one of the interesting things is when we do go over some of the newer amendments, some of them weren't good and they needed to be changed. The 18th Amendment was prohibition. They banned alcohol. They made it illegal. That was a mistake.
And we
Damn right it was.
Yeah,
I mean,
we need
yes,
that
it was.
drink, man.
Right.
Now, here's where I'm going to do the out-of-the-box thinking. The 19th Amendment gave women the right to vote. And based on a lot of these blue-haired crazy women, I'm questioning now, was that a smart thing? How would this country be if those crazies weren't allowed to vote? And hold on, let me put my thinking cap on.
Send your letters to Banned Patriot Box.
Yes, all the hate mail to P.O. Box 667, I Hate Patriot Box. Bonnie, back to you.
Oh, I thought the hat would meant you were going to do something else.
I think I've done enough.
Well, anyway, we were going to get to asset 3, please, because we're talking about protests, and Mark had some great picks for that.
So MAGA is Putin's tool. In what way?
Impacted by the policies that are taking place
I got no answer.
of someone.
Well, it's on your sign. I'm just wondering, how is MAGA Putin's tool?
Figure it out. If you can't figure it out, you're part of the problem.
Well, I mean, I feel like you would want to educate people as to exactly how that is.
I don't.
You don't want to educate people on how. How much were you paid to be here tonight?
$50 and a bottle of Crown Royal.
Really?
Yeah.
Does George Soros pay that to you?
Fascist MAGA. Get the f*** out of here.
I mean, it's public property, sir.
Oh, it is. You're right.
What makes you a fascist exactly?
Well, if you support Trump, you're a fascist.
How?
He's a fascist.
How is he a fascist?
If you support a fascist, you are a fascist.
How is he a fascist, sir?
Go look it up.
Clearly very mentally stable people here.
And what actually what she does is what you do, right?
Yeah, it's wild.
Do you actually I know you broadcast and you tell about the event itself, but do you ever go up and question people, or you stay away from people?
You know what I find out? I find out that if you can get some of these people actually to just take it down a level, have a one-on-one conversation with them, you'd find out they are not really as bad as when they are joining this mob mentality. It's anything that they do. The people just follow the mob. They are just sheep. They are following along. They're doing what they're told, but they're not actually exercising their own thinking caps. But when you get some of these kids one-on-one, I have to tell you, they're not such bad people. And they, one of the things that I found out is that from the other side is if you want to truly unite Republicans, Democrats, liberals, you can unite them through the children and the kids. Because one thing I found out on both sides is nobody wants to see any women or children being hurt. Well, at least the majority doesn't want to see women or children being hurt.
Right.
And when you can bond that way, sort of like when you talk about the Epstein files, I was in front of Trump Plaza and they were all holding, F Trump signs, F this, F that. And I said to one kid, I said, well, if you're going to say F Trump, well, you should say F 100 other people. Why do you hear just going against Trump and you think that he's just compromising underage children? And he said to me, he goes, oh, no, I don't think he's compromising underage children. But we know that he knows who is compromising underage children. We want to see arrests being made. I said, oh, my God, that's something I can work with. I said, okay, Mr. President, give us the list. Who do we need to arrest next? And that's when I just realized at that moment that there's not so many people that oh my God, they just hate Trump. They want Trump to do the things he promised. and bring law and order and make these arrests and do the things that he promised to do, and that's where, that's the things that I'm finding out.
Well, I'm glad that you had a positive experience because the clip that he just played where he's yelling at her that she's a fascist and if you're a Trump supporter, you're a fascist. I mean, they also came out against Charlie Kirk in a big way, calling him a racist. And people would go up to them and say, show me that he's a racist, show me a clip, anything. And they, just like that guy, they never can point to an example.
Well, again, they don't know, and they are being paid. And some of them, like the guy that you just showed the clip, didn't come out of character. He's
I think he had hate in his heart. That one.
He looked angry. He looked hateful. And again, at the end of the day, I believe that the people that are across the other side, are being paid and there are being agitators, and I'm watching it happen. And I have to tell you, normally, and I heard the comments you're making about the elder people in those ICE things, but when you go to these really, really like Antifa, they're 15, 17, 19, they're kids. And I believe a lot of them are covering their faces so they don't get exposed by their parents because they'll all get grounded.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you guys remember back in 2020 when they had the Black Lives Matter riots and the kids were covering their faces as they were looting and robbing? And there was a clip, I'll never forget it, of this mom found out her son was one of the rioters, and she, they got it on camera where she just let him have it, because he was a little kid, and he was doing in his head probably big boy stuff, and he had anonymity. Is that the right word?
Yes, anonymity on it.
He was able to disguise himself, and he was going with his group, like we talked about, the group mentality. And Mark, I'll never forget when I first posted publicly on Facebook, I reposted one of your posts, and one of the comics came at me and goes, "You don't care about that police officer." I'll never forget it. It came up in my memories recently. And once again, they were just all enveloped in that group mentality. They weren't thinking for themselves, and they were in the attack mode. And these were not paid people. These were people we know.
This whole thing, I put my thinking cap on.
Well, now it's a thinking cap.
Yes, that's a thinking cap. And, again, if we tone it down a little bit, both sides, they're trying to divide us, and they're doing a great job. If we sat down and said, let's talk about the things we agree on, I think that there's not as big a divide as they're leading us down. That's part of the game they're playing, is to divide us, divide and conquer. You know what? I think the majority of people would agree on more things than they disagree on.
But if people would just listen.
I don't believe that at all.
I don't either.
All right.
Mark and I are more angry.
But let's take the interview that Trump had with Kristen Welker, where he walked out.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
that was great.
All you see, but here's the thing: all you see in that clip is Trump saying, "Well, I've had enough. Thank you. Walk out." Okay. Not a lot of people watched the whole interview. I did. That interview was almost 40 minutes long, and Trump walked out at about 30 minutes, and Trump walked out about 27 because she was harping on him over January 6th. And he was saying, well, Mr. President, there was no, these people were a problem. And I go, no, lives were being destroyed. A lot of these people were being innocent. He also brought up January 6th. And she said, well, there was no evidence. He goes, there's plenty of evidence out there. And we've been seeing it. And we've also been talking about the people that were convicted on this. My ex-partner, Davin, he's one of my best friends, but he was going, well, explain yourself about all of this. And I explained it. I go, I know we had people on this show that said that they were just standing there and they were targeted and brought down. We have one that actually does a show here that happened to.
Absolutely.
Okay. I have a friend of mine that worked at the FBI that said that when you are investigating something, a field office has to notify Quantico to do it, okay? Quantico was telling them, here's a list of people you need to go over.
But getting back to that, what you were talking about, that interview, Trump has more patience than anybody I've ever met, because he went in knowing this woman is against him for years and years.
He's a loser.
A loser. Yeah. And she also was going to cut out anything, any good interaction. You were talking about the good and things we can agree on, which is what Trump always tries to do, is find, make a deal and meet in the middle. She has no interest in meeting in the middle. She just was going to keep interviewing him until he said one thing that she could capture, and then the mainstream media would run on that. And anything else, they would probably cut it down or put it at the bottom of the feed. And then the big story would be, look, he lost his temper with her. And you know what? He had a right to lose his temper with her.
But this
at least he didn't smack her.
That's every liberal. There's no
Every
middle
liberal.
ground with him. There's no middle ground with him. I mean, since I joined this show, I have been forced to watch all these horrible videos so I can put
Mark.
videos up on here. It's okay, it's fine.
We
It's
appreciate
fine.
your.
But I have exposed myself to these people. They are all full of hate. They don't like you. They want nothing to do with you.
Yep.
And they're just out of control. And I'm not posting all the videos, obviously. I try to find the ones with the shortest amount of time so we can spend more time talking. But I have sat here for hours sometimes and just go through TikTok, and I'm just like, this is insane. Just like this Carmelo case we just went through. There are so many black people that hate white people that I have lost count now.
And also, one of the things is when she said, "Well, you said there would be no new wars," and Trump said, "I never said that." Now, I'm gonna look. He did allude to that, but here's the thing: he could have threw baby powder on that. All he had to say is no. But when you have a terrorist regime capable of a nuclear weapon, I'm not going to sit there and get them to have that. And I'm trying to stabilize this region.
Well, absolutely. I mean, every president before him has been saying that Iran has a nuclear weapon, what they're going to do to stop it, and they did nothing. In fact, Obama, I've had this great video of Obama, with a song in the background, and he's giving pallets of cash in the middle of the night. We'll be back and we'll discuss this more because we're running out of time, but that Obama was the start of that, and he's to blame for the situation that we're in today, partially. And don't go away. We'll be right back.
Me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
The America First Ultra MAGA Store. For all your MAGA needs. We sell t-shirts, tumblers, flags, hats, sneakers, bumper stickers, and a whole lot more. The most patriotic America First retail store. The America First Ultra MAGA Store.
Let's go!
Rav family, it's time to stand up and fight back.
We have to be tough.
Join fellow patriots at the America First Warehouse for AMAC's Boot Camp for Patriots.
Yes, sir!
An incredible two-day event designed to teach you how policy gets implemented, how grassroots movements create change, and how you can help shape the future of America.
Proud and free and standing tall.
On June 19th, don't miss Real America's Voice live on site with a special taping of Live from Studio 6B, the Freedom Truck, live music and barbecue. And on June 20th, it's Vendor Village, followed by AMAC's Boot Camp for Patriots live event. Tickets are limited and going fast. Scan the QR code now and reserve your spot today. 2 days of training, fellowship, and action brought to you by AMAC. Get your tickets now before they're gone.
America First Warehouse
was really the most patriotic venue that you can ever imagine. We wanted to build something for people to be able to come to and feel so comfortable and so relaxed, because there is nothing out there like it. We give an opportunity for people to really feel good about themselves and about this great country.
Yeah, one of the things, and I'm just so grateful to be here on the show with this team, because it's comforting to know that I'm not alone out here. Because sometimes I do feel like maybe that it just goes unappreciated and not wanted, and I'm just it's like a lost cause. But the number one threat, as far as I'm concerned, to the United States of America right now is Zohran Mamdani. He is absolutely the wolf in sheep's clothing, and we can end his political, come November, if it happens our way, and we make this happen all in one day, you can end Kathy Hochul and Zohran Mamdani's political career all in one vote, which is for Bruce Blakeman. He is running against Kathy Hochul for governor in New York, and I can just tell you, a vote for Kathy Hochul is a vote for Zohran Mamdani. And a vote for Kathy Hochul is a vote for the Quran. A vote for Kathy Hochul is a vote for Sharia law. A vote for Kathy Hochul is a vote not only for the danger going forward for the Jewish community, but for every American citizen that calls themselves a New Yorker, because they are very clear that they do not care about every citizen in our state. One thing Zohran Mamdani does care about is that if you have converted to Islam, and if you have not, he is not recognizing you at all. He might not be saying it out loud, but you can see it by the actions that he comes out with while he's the mayor of that city. So, I'm very disappointed with what happened with Spencer Pratt. I think that is just a punch right in our face. But I'm going to ask, and I'm going to challenge every citizen, not only in New York, but the United States of America, when is enough going to be enough, where you are going to stand up tall, you're going to start calling and screaming from the mountaintops and saying, this is our country, this is not theirs. We are here in every part of America. We are here in every corner, not they are here in every corner. And you either assimilate or you can get the hell out of our country. And I'd be the first one to be happy to say, Zohran Mamdani, I'd love to send you right back to Uganda, to where you came from.
And bravo. And to add to that, Bruce Blakeman is the county executive of Nassau, has done a phenomenal job. Nassau County is the safest county in the country. The taxes have not been raised. He's been doing an outstanding job. Now, to everybody, all our constituents and patriots upstate New York, you need to get the word out, because I have family upstate New York. I mentioned Blakeman. Oh, well, how is he? You need to look into him. You need to find out what a great man he is. You need to find out he's going to save New York State, and you need to get the word out. We need to get the word out. We need to be as pervasive as the Democratic Party is. That's one of the biggest critiques against our party. We're not pervasive enough. We need to be more.
Joe, I think that we could safely say that you don't even have to go into Blakeman. He's not Hochul. He's not Mamdani. That's what we need. We need to cleanse this state, this amazing place, the greatest state what used to be the greatest state and city in the greatest country. We need to get rid of Hochul, and that's what we need to do. Yeah. And if you look at a map of different voting districts, most of this state is red. It's just the clusters, like New York City, parts of New York City, not including Staten Island, parts of Albany, parts out in Erie. And again, we need to get rid of Hochul. Let's send the message that, you know what, we've had enough.
Also, I want to talk about, I want to thank you for what you do for the Jewish citizens of New York City. The anti-Semitic crimes are more now than they ever were. And if you are a Democratic Jew or you're voting blue, you're basically slitting your own throat. You're ruining your children's lives, their future, and you have to take your head out of your ass and understand that the Democratic Party hates you. It's also the party that is putting in the government the enemy from within. So we have the squad already, Democrats. We have The guy with the Nazi tattoo who's trying to get into a very important position, Democrat. We have Mandami, Democrat. So why are you voting for Democrats? And I shared something on my page, I'll probably get it wrong, but it said, it was a post, I reposted it by somebody, and it said, a self-hating, anti-Zionist Jew and a normal Jew went into a bar. And the bartender said, we don't serve Jews. So you might be on this platform because you want to be with the group mentality, like what Midnight was talking before, but it comes down to your safety, your future. If the enemy from within gets into the government and they already have a good foothold and their platform is growing, we're in danger. Jews especially, Americans especially, and then after the Jews, they come for everybody else.
Well, look at Chuck Schumer, all right? So he doesn't support, he supports Mandami, which means he does not support Jews. He doesn't support Israel. Guess what? He doesn't support you or America. He basically goes to the highest bidder.
And Bernie Sanders, too.
He panders to the party, and the party doesn't give a rat's ass about America. You know what? I give a rat's ass about America, and the majority of us do, and we proved that in the last election.
And Joe, you talk to people who are Jewish Democrats. What is their response when you talk about the Squad or you talk about Mandami or what is their response? They hate Trump so much.
If you go back to how Trump is a Nazi.
So what? He's not a Nazi. It's the opposite. So are these people delusional?
Well, delusional.
They anger me more than anybody. Mark, you get angry at the liberals. The Jewish liberals are the ones that just set I'm on fire with them. I don't even want to be around them because you are a traitor. And if you can't get your act together and understand what is going on in the government, look at the stats. Somebody came on my page and said, well, look at Tucker Carlson. He's on the right and he's against Jews. Yes, but they're not in the government. These people are infiltrating our government because Democrats are voting for them.
Even the ones that are there, both Bernie Sanders and Schumer supported Grant Plattner and was pushing for him.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
Did we go to ask?
Yes, we did not. Asset 4, please. Thank you so much.
What is the most concerning thing that you've seen so far since Trump has taken over?
Oh, God, so much.
Too many to mention. It's hard to just say one thing.
It's hard to say what's the worst.
You could talk for 20 minutes on any one of them.
Oh my gosh, take your pick. There's so many. I think...
rounding up innocent people.
Definitely white supremacy.
The loss of democracy.
We need to get democracy back. We have entered the phase of authoritarianism in the United States.
Shutting down free speech.
From just strutting around the world like he thinks he owns it, and that's just too many.
Oh, please, how much time do you have?
Give me some highlights.
I'm gonna let you move to somebody else. I got another protest.
Very concerned about women and why Trump hates us so much.
Oh my God, I just can't.
And that's the answer, Bonnie. That's the answer.
I just can't.
I bet you all those people have big houses, all those crackheads that have big houses, no worries and no nothing. I don't even know why they're standing out there. They're a bunch of frauds.
Absolutely. I agree with you, Mark. It's insane. The level of stupidity, especially they're talking about saving democracy. Look what happened with Spencer Pratt. Has that ever happened with a Republican where thousands of mail-in ballots came and saved the day for a Republican?
They talk about saving
democracy. It's never happened.
They sacked their own president from a seated president and put in Kamala. Right. And, that's not a threat to democracy. It's
They're
just
against
insane.
the SAFE Act. They're against voter ID.
One of the things, there's an old saying, it says, never try to teach a pig to read. It's a waste of time and it annoys the pig. So, you know what? I think that applies to the Democrats.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, that we just saw the mentality of that, where they think it's fascist, where they want democracy back. They never lost democracy. But is democracy at the thing where it's going to be anti-Semitism? They don't realize that?
They're okay with that. But you know what? if there really was no democracy, they wouldn't be able to stand out there and call everybody names.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. Exactly. It just boggles the mind.
A corrupt government does not allow you. In fact, as Midnight says, they cancel you. So he lost his TikTok.
But when I see those videos, what I see is that the hatred for Donald Trump is superseding the love and the safety and the security for their own families.
Spot on.
Absolutely.
That's the sickness of it.
That's spot on.
That's the sickness of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we have a really cool announcement about the warehouse. They're having a watch party, a primary watch party with Donald Trump. So Midnight is going to be joining us on June 23rd. His podcast, it's called Midnight. It's going to join ours, and that's on June 23rd. And then the watch party's right after. And also at the warehouse this Sunday is the UFC fight. So you could watch together with Patriot friends and come to the warehouse and watch that, and it's a great time. And you have a bunch of their
Yes, the America First Warehouse Venue and Production Studio is the home studio of America First Media and Television. Go to amshows.com. Check us out. Also, we'd like to thank some of our sponsors, TAFW Sound Money Wallet at tafsoundmoneywallet.com. My Patriot Travel at mypatriottravel.com /TAFW. MyPillow.com. Who doesn't like MyPillow? Great product at mypillow.com /TAFW or 1-800-889-2067. Tallow Honey Gold, Maha Gold. Tallow Honey Gold, beautiful honey. TallowHoneyGold.com /TAFW. Download the America First Media and Television app, available at the App Store and Google Play Store, or go to afshows.com. Bonnie.
So the warehouse has so many wonderful things going on. You can check out their social media. Please try to share everything they have, because just like Midnight was saying, they get put to the bottom of the feed, they get canceled. And Midnight, where can people follow you?
You can go to Instagram at the Midnight123 or Facebook at Shawn Michael, ShawnMichael.
And you also have a TikTok.
Yeah, the TikTok. I don't want to promote that.
Okay. All right. See you next week on Red, Right, and True.
Woo!
Perfecto.